Hey Lewis, how are you? Louis D. Perotti, how are you, brother? Charles Medford, how are you? Eric Daniel, how are you? John Beltry, how are you? Travis, how are you? Check out these views. I just came back from Florida. I'm in the city, the Rotten Apple they call it. Figured out I hop on this live, add some value, talk about personal branding. I think it's one of the easiest things to do, and just a lot of people don't get it. Look at this little beautiful dog. A lot of people don't get it, and it's heartbreaking. It can give you so much of a bigger impact and really increase your income. But how are you guys doing, man? Nicholas Bayer, how are you, brother? I'm pumped up you hopped on here, man. I really look up to you. If you guys don't know who Nicholas is, I highly recommend you add him. He is a world shaker, a game changer. Big guy I look up to as a mentor. He's a big name. I tell you that much in business. And is doing awesome in life. Monique Garant, how are you? How's the Facebook working for you? Facebook has been working fantastic for me, John. Thank you for asking, man. For the past couple of years, honestly, my last Facebook page got shut down. I was doing some black hat things with a direct selling company. Facebook shut me down. You know, they saw that we weren't really feeding them money through Facebook ads. So long story short, they shut down my last one. So this is my new one, and I've never done any Facebook Live ever until a couple of days ago when I was in Florida. I did my first one, and I got some great responses. And so I figured out I'm back in New York, my hometown. I'm comfortable, and I'd hop on here and share some value. Really specifically talk about personal branding and how you could use it on Facebook, and how you don't need Facebook Lives to create an extra income through this platform, which is fantastic enough. And but personal branding, that's what I want to talk about today. But I'm doing awesome, man. How is Facebook working for you, John? I'm just waiting on here, seeing how many people hop on here. I just did a Facebook. Be using it to really change the impact. I believe the greater the impact, the greater the net worth, the greater your income. I tell people, I give them the example of Warren Buffett. I say, Warren Buffett wouldn't have been the billionaire he is if he had only, dealt in one business, helping one client, one customer, right? So he helps millions of clients. He talks about, if you study him like I do on his Berkshire Hathaway on speeches, he talks about how there's $1 billion worth of sales a day of Coca-Cola purchases. So you have to impact a large amount of people to see a large amount of increase in your income. Man, we'll love to learn from your knowledge and maybe exchange value. I'm in Miami and we could do some collaboration. Yeah, that sounds fantastic, brother. I was just out there. I flew back in here. Danae, how are you? I flew back here yesterday. Literally, I got off the plane. My New York Police Department police officer got a new place. I helped her move all day yesterday. I haven't got any sleep. I probably, for the past week, I've probably gotten altogether maybe 8 hours of sleep the whole entire week. So today, I literally took the day just to sleep. I was gonna do this earlier. I went back home, we slept, and I just woke up at 5. Out here now, wanted to share this that's been on my heart for a very long time. Check out this view, guys. I'm in New York City. I'm back. I was on a paidcation. I tell people it's a big difference between a vacation and a paidcation. But check out these views. If you've ever been in New York City, comment below. Yes. Let me know if you know this area. I'm actually behind the World Trade Center. If you ever come to New York and you want me to show you around, I'd be more than happy to. I like connecting with people all over the world, especially game changers like yourselves. But I want to talk about personal branding, man. I've written about it a lot. Again, I've shied away from doing anything video-wise, and that's just a testament to you guys to step over your fear. And because look, I'm doing it today, and I enjoy it as much as anything else. I'm loving it. And I'm getting a lot of great responses. People are showing me that they really love it. But the topic of personal branding, I just want to cut into it right now. People can watch this on the replay. But personal branding, I think it's real simple. If you haven't checked out my post, go back. I've written about it, very nice, in detail. I spent time. I edited as much as I could. I know we have those people that like to, correct people on their grammar. I hope I didn't, leave any incorrect grammar in there, but I spent a lot of time on it. But I want to make a video today. I know a lot of people learn through different forms, some verbal, some through reading, some through listening. So I want to create this video for you guys that tend to appreciate video more. And so I want to make this as entertaining and educational as possible. But it's real simple, man. Personal branding, if you look at the best of the best out there, Jeremiah Goodman, thank you for hopping on here. How are you? If you look at the best of the best out there, and when I say the best of the best, I'm talking about anybody from Warren Buffett to people in the science industry that are really game changers there, to people in the business industry, to people in the real estate industry. Some names that come to mind is Tai Lopez, Grant Cardone, Robert Kiyosaki. All these people have mastered personal branding. Personal branding is very simple. Don't let people complicate it for you. Again, I did a long post about it. You should really take the time to read it. I'm telling you, you're going to get a lot of value from it. And if you don't, please comment in that post or comment on here and let me know. And I'll change it and I'll make it better. Trust me. Bill Gates is very well known for changing up his Microsoft Word every single year because he understands there's no such thing as perfect. Right? And so each year you see a Microsoft 5, a Microsoft 6, a Microsoft 10, because the largest room in the world is the room for improvement, right? Zig Ziglar is very well known for saying that and preaching it. And it was Zig Ziglar himself back in 2017 which changed the course of my life, right? It was his one quote. He said, you can have anything you want if you help enough people get what they want. It's a major key, right, Jeremiah? I agree, man. And so personal branding, though, specifically, has really helped add more value into my life than where I was able to then go ahead and share it with other people and help them out like the others before me. So anyways, personal branding, it's real simple. Personal branding, it's basically, what do you want people to know about your brand, your name? Right? It's, and so you have to think about quality, right? I have a mentor. This guy is making around $50,000 a month right now. He's younger than me. He's 26, 27, I believe. But it doesn't matter. This kid, he's crushing it. He's making people's annual income, right, per month. And I remember, I never forget it, one of his best friends, another mentor of mine, I got a chance to meet him. He flew down from Cali over here in Brooklyn. We went to a nice little restaurant, kind of hippie. That's how he is. It was nice. We had a great meal, great time. And I remember asking him, I said, hey, man, his name was Logan. I said, Logan, man, if you could give me one advice, man, what would you share with me? And it had to do with personal branding. And I was asking specifically about, Instagram, because I'm really big on Instagram now. I have over 28,000 followers. I'm not saying any of that to impress you guys, just to impress upon you that, the things I'm sharing, they work. And it's specifically personal branding, but it's a lot of topics that I'm consistently learning about and mastering and getting results in and sharing with others so they can see even faster results from. Because I believe that again, the more people you help, the more you'll be closer to getting what you want, right? Like Zig Ziglar says, you can have anything you want if you help enough people get what they want. So when it comes to personal branding, I think it's real simple, right? You see the best of the best doing it. Why not you, right? And what I mean by that, like I said, back to my mentor, making over $50,000 a month right now. He has a Maserati, lives in Miami actually. And I remember Logan telling me, he said, hey man, if you look at him and how he started, he was posting a lot of things of quantity and he wasn't really focused on quality. But if you look at his personal branding today, he's all about quality. He actually created his own name brand for his company that went very viral, and it is still today. And it just caught on like fire. I caught on to it. I started riding the bandwagon on it. And so you just never know when it's going to happen for you. But you have to, I believe, consciously, especially if you're in business, to come up with a business name. You see a lot of people that, they personally brand their actual name. I do, Luis Rosario. You see guys like Ty Lopez, Grant Cardone, but Robert Kiyosaki, you see him also branding the Rich Dad Poor Dad company, and there's a lot of reasons behind it. One of which I'll say is for, liability reasons. And, and you could Google, on that, but personal branding in a sense in general, just off of me sharing my Instagram just a few minutes ago, that's personal branding. That's basically being indifferent, to the point where if people are Googling me, if people are looking me up on Instagram, they know they're gonna find me because my name is solidified. I'm not out there with an Instagram name or a Facebook name that, it's, Lamborghini Louis, which it used to be until I learned this concept, or, Money Lou, or, it's my name. You want to start focusing on your name. Why? So I'll give you a story, right? They say facts tell and stories sell. Well, a couple of months ago, almost a year ago actually, I went down to the Maserati dealership here in New York City. I like to be around the best. Look, I tell you a secret, right? I'm telling you about personal branding. You see the best doing it. Well, I'll tell you a secret. If you want to be the best, you have to be around the best. You have to be surrounded by the best, right? You are a product of your environment. So I tend to go down to these dealerships as often as possible. Some people think I'm weird. They look at me, they're like, man, this guy probably can't afford this car. Whatever, I don't care. Opinions are like armpits. Everyone has them and they all stink. But I went to the dealership, the Maserati dealership, and I met this elderly man. I believe his name was John. I have it written down in my notebook. I'm very particular about names and, respecting people. So when I see them again, I earn their respect. But John, 70 years old. He had to be around 70, 60, late 60s. And he was very busy. He was the only guy there on the floor. It was like 10 different Maseratis. It was the first time I saw the Jeep Maserati, I believe. And hey, Tisha Smith, how are you? Thanks for joining. I really appreciate you taking out your time from your very important day to hop on here and to learn some things of value, specifically on personal branding. But I remember John at the Maserati dealership being very busy, and I told him, Angelina, thanks for hopping on here. Really appreciate you. I'm talking about personal branding and how and giving you a story, right? Because facts tell and stories sell, right? People get very bored with the facts. This guy, I made over $1 million in sales. I've been in business 4 years. People get bored by that stuff. So I'm giving you a story about how I learned about personal branding and how I started using it more effectively and how I was able to increase my income and my impact with it. The larger the impact, the larger the income. So anyways, I went to the Maserati dealership. John tells me, I'm very busy, I have to go, I have a lot of paperwork. I say, hey John, before you go, and I ask everybody this, I recently just asked this to Michael Vick, to the star leading road actor from the movie 300, and also Luol Deng from the Chicago Bulls, who graduated from Duke University, I believe, in the NBA now, and I don't know if he's in another team. I don't watch TV, I haven't for a long time. Ryan Gillette, how are you? Nice to see you. Thanks for hopping on here. I really appreciate you for taking your important time to learn some more value from personal branding if you haven't already used it. And if you are, hopefully this can help you scale. So anyways, I'm at the Maserati dealership. I'm just sharing a message, a story of how I met John at the Maserati dealership, and he really honed in on personal branding for me that day. and he was really busy. And I said, hey, John, one word of advice that you would give me for success in business and sales. I said something like that. Again, it was about a year ago, a couple months ago. And John tells me, he goes, all right, I had my notebook out, and I wrote his name down before anything. You know, if you've never read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, I highly recommend it. That book, it tells you how important it is to know people's name, and just always repeat it when you're in front of them. Julio Sanchez, you can make more sales just by literally calling people by their names and not saying he, she, him, her. You know, so he goes on, and John tells me, so I got my notebook out, I have my pencil. I tell people note takers are money makers, and it's absolutely true. And I'll tell you a little bit on why I believe that and why I've seen it and experienced it now in my life. So John tells me 4 things. He goes, number 1, sell yourself. Right? He's in the Maserati dealership. He tells me a story of how he started back in the 80s or something. He remembers cold calling people in the Yellow Pages. So he would get those big fat books. I don't know if you ever had a house, if you ever had the Yellow Pages, you know, shipped at your apartment or at your house. And it was just a large number of contacts. It was a large network of different names, businesses, and addresses that you can call in your local phone book. And so he told me he remembers calling people, just cold calling and saying, hey, I have 5 Cadillacs for you today. How many do you want? And he knew right then and there, he broke the ice. And when one person said 1, he knew he had to sell or he had a lead. So anyways, he goes on to say, number 1, whenever you're in business and sales, you want to first sell yourself. John tells me, number 1, you sell. So I'm there, I'm writing down 1, sell yourself. He goes, number 2, he goes, sell your product. Number 2, sell your product. Number 1, right? It's why I'm talking about personal branding, right? I'm giving you a story to just re-support that. He goes, number 1, sell yourself, right? Number 2, sell your product. His product was Maseratis, right? My product, my service is online marketing, social media marketing, right? And some other businesses I have. He goes, number 3, he goes, sell your company. Sell your company, the Maserati dealership. He goes, number 3, and you know, and that's for him, right? Sell your company, the Maserati. And number 4, he goes, sell the price last. If you don't know that, guys, comment below. Thank you for sharing that, Lewis. Right? If you don't know this, guys, comment below. Thank you for sharing that, Lewis. Or just say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me know if you just learned this, because you know, I believe this is some of the most basic things that we need to have in business. And I learned this from, again, one of the best. Would you agree? Somebody that's been in the car business and the sales business for over 30 plus years. He was telling me a story how back in the 80s, he was cold calling from the yellow books, the Yellow Pages, right? Just seeing him random numbers, calling them and saying, hey, I have 4 Cadillacs for you. How many do you want? I have 5 Cadillacs for you. How many do you want? You know, they say 1, he know he has a lead, right? And so he tells me, basically, personal branding. He goes, sell yourself. And you hear it all the time. If you're in sales, you've been in business for a long time. Nicholas, I know you can, you know, you can tell people, because I know you're way more successful than almost all the people on this live. Please let me know what you think about this. But, you know, he tells me sell yourself, right? And what happens is, whenever you're in the real estate industry, whenever you're, you know, whether you're in MLM or any kind of sales, your sales training, you're doing energy sales. I did energy door knocking. I got doors slammed in my face, getting commissions off of helping people get better contracts with energy deals. But in any kind of sales, in any kind of business, Jesse Ruiz, thank you for hopping on here. I really appreciate you for taking your time out on this evening to spend it with me and everybody on to get some and gain some more value and get some more knowledge on personal branding. So I was just sharing a story of how to support this theory or fact or whatever you want to call it, that personal branding is important. Personal branding sells, and personal branding is more like storytelling, right? They say facts kill and stories sell. And I wrote down these 4 things that John, the 70-year-old salesman at a Maserati dealership, one of the best, would you agree, right, in the world when it comes to sales, when it comes to, you know, cars. He's selling, you know, an over $100,000, you know, car, right? And this is something that most people don't make in a year. right? So he's selling a car worth people's annual income. So I would agree. I hope you would too. He's one of the best of the best. And he tells me, number one, sell yourself. Number two, sell your product. Number three, sell your company. Number four, sell your price. I believe it was that order. But number one was definitely sell yourself. And selling yourself meaning that people buy you and not your product. People buy, what do I mean by that? So whether you're in real estate sales, whether you're selling homes, flipping houses, finding investors and funding houses. I have a mentor, very successful in Dallas. He's a millionaire. Guy came from rags to riches, to rags again, and riches in real estate. And you know, and he tells me, you know, he adds value to the marketplace by finding investors and you know, making them a higher ROI and investing their money in real estate. And you have to sell yourself first, right? He went from rags to riches because when he was at the very bottom, he didn't have the millionaire skills he has today. He didn't have the quality of a great salesman, right? He didn't have the speaking and social abilities that he has today. So you have to sell yourself first. You have to work on yourself. Jim Rohn is very famous. If you don't know who he is, I highly recommend you go on YouTube right after this, or even right now, and look him up. Jim Rohn YouTube. And Jim Rohn, he always used to say, in order for things to change, you have to change. So in order for things to change for Lewis, if I want a bigger mansion, if I want more cars, if I want more time freedom, I have to change. Lewis has to change. So you have to change. We have to change in order for things to change. And you'll start to see that. You change your paradigms, you start to see the change in your reality, in your outside, once you start to make the change inside. It all starts from inside, guys. I tell you that, at least for me in my personal experience, it all started from a change inside. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm pretty sure, even for other successful people, they would agree. And so with personal branding, it's really important, right? You can tell just from the story I shared with you. If you look at everything that I've done for the past 4 years on Facebook and Instagram in particular, you know, from starting a business online with no experience, you know, I was what people call knowledge on ice and ignorance on fire. I had no knowledge of what the crap I was doing. I just knew a few guiding principles. And, you know, I built a large sales organization, not only locally, but internationally, to the point where I had over 300 people that, you know, was buying into my deal, that I got started. And I had an 8-figure earner, my mentor, even to this day, a man, 60 years old, that makes no less than $10 million per year, right? He owns a ski resort. He owns multiple different businesses, but I was in a business mutually with him. And because of the success I was making online, he flew out to Italy for me, small guy from New York City. And so I started to see that, you know, personal branding, you know, and all these other great qualities and skills that we can learn. Zig Ziglar, if you don't know who he is, I highly recommend you look him up on YouTube. He says, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great, right? Anyone that's followed my journey from a few years ago to today can see the change internally and also outwardly, right? And you can see that I wasn't, you know, the greatest. I wasn't great at all to start in business. I didn't know what the crap I was doing online. I literally did not know. I just knew I got sick and tired of my results, and I made a commitment, like I do many times to myself, where I say, look, I'm putting the flag in the sand, I'm drawing the line, I'm gonna make this happen, right? And I don't care what comes in my way. And that's what I did, and that's what you have to do many times. But what I'm telling you is personal branding really helped me to gain that success that I've had then and even now. And it's really all personal branding of what I focused on today. And so what I think personal branding is basically creatively sharing your message and your story, your products and your services through a non-salesy way that really connects with your audience, with your network, your potential prospects and clients, that helps them get what they want, and, well, in the end, also help you get what you want. So it has to be a win-win situation. And some things that you can apply right now, because I like actionable things. And again, if you guys just hopped on here. I was talking about how I created a long, lengthy, real value-packed post. It took me an hour at least, and I remember how I hated typing, you know, even a few words for a college paper, but I took the time to create this because I'm passionate about it, and I want you to see the success. So I talk about personal branding on one of my recent posts. I highly recommend you look at it, and I'm going to talk about this topic a lot because I can't just, you know, share it all on this one live. But personal branding, some things that you can do right now. So if you look at my bio on Facebook, or even go to my Instagram, I'm literally going to drop my Instagram right here, right now, for you guys, so you can take a look at what I mean. It's www. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Here, if you guys have any questions in the meantime, please just drop them down below. Anything to do with personal branding, www.instagram.com/ I think it's amazing that a lot of people don't know you can share your Instagram link on here, and all you have to do is put instagram.com/ whatever your Instagram tag name is. So this is my Instagram, so you guys can take a look at what I mean by changing your bio. So you could do this also on Facebook, and this is why I love social media, because it's all very transferable. The success principles, what you do on Instagram, you could do on Facebook. And so if you go on my Instagram, if you look at my Facebook bio, and I just dropped down my link in there for Instagram so you can look at it even faster, you'll see that what you need to do is the number one thing. Hey, Nero Rogers, thank you for hopping on here. The number one actionable step that you can take right now for personal branding, right, is sharing to your audience, your potential prospects, your clients, right, what you do for a living and how you can help them, right? So if you look at my Instagram, I have entrepreneur, I have investor, right, which I am. If you look at, and so I can help people in entrepreneurship. I can help, well, some people, most people, right? Not everyone. I don't want to work with everyone. Not everyone wants to work with me. But that's what I work in. That's one of my businesses, and investing as well. When you go to my Facebook, and this was taught to me from a mentor that makes double what I make. He makes multiple 7 figures through Instagram and social media, online, and different things. And he told me, you have to change your bio. You have to really take the time. Take the time, guys. Take the time tonight, right now, 5 minutes, an hour. Write down what it is that I do, what industry am I in, what problem am I solving for people, right? Because if you look at Uncle G, Grant Cardone, and what he preaches, he goes, the bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck. So write down, what problem are you solving? How are you helping people? Going back to Zig Ziglar, right? How are you helping people, right? And so you have to get really specific on this. You have to let it be known. You have to market it. Guys, business is marketing. I have a mentor of mine that told me, if you master sales and marketing, you will never go hungry. And I agree. And so you have to come down, think about what it is that you do, write it down. How are you helping people? Write it down. Then post it on your Facebook and social media. Guys, look at my Instagram, hit on it so you can have an idea of what I mean. Look at my Facebook bio so you have an idea of what I mean. And change it to however, that fits to you personally, right? And so after you do this, the next step that you want to do is you want to start thinking about who your client is. Who's your dream client, right? Your dream client. Your dream client being, if you had experience in your business for a while, that not every person is a prospect, or more so, not everyone wants to buy whatever you're selling or sharing, I like to say, right? Because when you follow this method, using personal branding, leveraging it through social media, you're not selling at all. You're literally just helping people get what they want, right? And then this law of reciprocity, if you don't know what that word means, Google it. But basically meaning the law of reciprocity is, like, for example, have you ever walked around and randomly just got a compliment from someone, a complete stranger, and then you felt automatically the natural instinct to want to compliment them back? That's the law of reciprocity. So doing a favor for a favor. Hey, Ernie Lowe, thank you so much for hopping on here, man. So excited to see you here, and I hope that you could get value from this personal branding and how to increase your impact and increase your income through personal branding and social media. And so what I'm sharing today is actionable steps, right? I'm sharing to you the psychology, the philosophy behind it. I'm sharing you stories to support it from people better than me, right? I was talking about John from the Maserati dealership, been in, the sales industry for, over 30 plus years, selling cars to this day, right? Paying his bills from selling over, $100,000 cars, right? That's not the easiest thing to do. And I'm sure some of you can agree. Some people I know are out there selling products that cost $10 on eBay. Some people are selling, mid-level ticket programs for $200, and not seeing so much success. Some people are selling high-ticket items for $1,000. This guy is selling a $100,000 car. So I'm sure we can all agree mutually that, he's one of the best of the best. And, he kind of just like let me know and supported this idea that I learned from other successful people, that personal branding is key. It's a major key, as someone said a little bit earlier. And so what you need to do then after all right, my connection just went out a little bit. I might have to cut this off shortly. So after you come up with your bio, you have to think about who's your dream client. Your dream client meaning someone that you're not having to convince, right? To buy into your idea, your message, your dream, your goals, your service or product. Someone that you don't have to convince. If you're actively convincing, like trying to like force a sale, then you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. And if you're using personal branding the way I'm showing you here, and if you look at my old post and you're learning the guiding principles, the success principles that I use in personal branding to see over 6 figures in income, right? Within my first 8 months online and my first ever business online, literally knowledge on 9s, ignorance on fire, meaning I had no idea what the crap I was doing, then you're gonna see that success, if not even more, right? You're gonna see instant results. And so I'm telling you, I'm asking you, if you can, switch up your bio, start posting more things of quality and not so much quantity. We have so many people that they're resharing other people's quotes. Listen, it's okay. Look, what I do is, you can try this, right? Can you do this? When you see a nice, amazing quote, can you, instead of just resharing it, because what you're doing is when you're resharing it, right? And it's kind of lazy, right? If you think about it, it's kind of lazy. What you can do is download 500 fonts app. If you have an Android, if you have an iPhone, just put in 500 fonts, download any similar app. It's a font app, and what you can do is creatively, listen, entrepreneurship, the more creative you are, the more successful you'll be. I mean, it's a proven statement. Look at Steve Jobs. He creatively made a device. Hey, Nick Gardner, thank you for hopping on here. He creatively created a device that had, number 1, a music component to it, number 2, a computer component to it, and number 3, a phone component to it. It's called the iPhone today. It's being creative. So you have to be creative. Stop resharing other people's quotes. So put up things of quality. How you can make things of more quality? Downloading these free. This is a free app that people don't know about and people don't use. And it's real simple to do. You download the 500 fonts app, or if you're on, you have an iPhone, download anyone similar. Just download anyone. It doesn't matter which it is. You can message me and ask me if I recommend it or not. I'm gonna say yes. Most likely, because I have people that ask me all the time, hey, I couldn't find your apps. Is this one good? I'm just gonna say yes, as long as it has fonts. And it's amazing to know that Steve Jobs actually dropped out of college, right? Went back, snuck into classes to learn calligraphy, these fonts that you and I now use. Before, we didn't have the option to different fonts. It was very boring, and so a lot of people didn't like, creating, papers and stuff like that with these boring fonts. It was because of Steve Jobs dropping out of college, and that's a part of my story. I dropped out of college because they had me in classes I didn't like Steve Jobs. Right? I was taking a karate class, I was taking biology class. My major was business management. I'm kind of getting off topic, but I'm not, because I'm talking about being creative. And so, forcing yourself to be creative by not being lazy, not taking the path traveled by the many like Steve Jobs and I did, and dropping out and creating your own path, and sneaking in if you have to into courses. I just snuck into the campus of the University of Central Florida. If you look at my last Facebook Live, my last live on Instagram, I just dropped down my Instagram link below, guys, if you don't have it, so you can see. I don't know if my last Instagram live on Instagram is there, but I snuck into the campus, and I went to the library. I love the library, I love knowledge, but I'm a big believer that Knowledge isn't power, it's potential power, like in biology, potential energy. It's the application of knowledge in an organized plan for a definite chief aim and goal is when you'll start to see the power and the results that you'll get from it. So if you're hearing all of this and you're not actively taking notes, note takers are money makers. I can tell you from experience, and it'll cause you to change and learn more skills of a millionaire. That they automatically scare prospects, very good qualified leads, away with trying to sell the price first. You never want to do that, right? If you don't take it from me, take it from John, the best of the best. Been in sales for over 30 years, and he gave me that advice. So personal branding is very important, and then also sharing some actionable things that you can start today. Stop resharing the quotes. Take the time. It may take 5 minutes to 10 minutes, but I can tell you, I promise you, it's gonna increase your impact and then your net worth as well, your income. So take the time, download the apps, create what you do, right? So let me tell you what you do after you create the app, after you download the app, I meant to say, is you take the quote, the same exact lettering, or you go to Google like I do. I go to Google, and the reason why you do this is because you want to give. You want to give a lot of value in return. Right, you want to give value up front, and what I mean by that is you want to share things that can help your audience up front. Whether you're selling pools, right? Whether you're selling a training, whether you're selling houses. On social media, we have the power to give our audience, our clients, our prospects value up front. So if you're selling real estate, something of value could be, some type of like family real estate quote, right? That will impact your buyers, and so you do this because Neville, how are you doing, Neville? Man, I love Neville to death. If you guys need any travel help at all, I'm talking about Neville. So Neville is a travel consultant. All that means is he will give you the best of the best prices on your travel needs. And I'm not just saying that just to say that, but I've actively been looking at his stuff. He shared it with me, and I'm telling you, he'll give you some of the best prices on travel that you can find anywhere. And honest to God, personal branding, what I'm teaching is, number one, gaining trustability, and number two, likability with your clients. So it'll just make the process, the conversion process easier for you. And this guy, you can easily, he's one of those guys that you just trust, automatically. He's one of those guys that you just instantly like. He has very great ethics and morals. Neville
Neville, Neviloe, Parakh is his name here on Facebook for all your travel needs. So I'm talking about taking actionable steps, changing your bio up, specifically letting your audience know, strangers and even people that have been following for a while, what is exactly that you do, what do you offer, how do you help people get results, and what things of value that you have to share. And so I'm talking about also not resharing other people's quotes, not being so lazy now, downloading these apps and taking, the 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is. People will sense your effort, right? The energy that you put into it. Money is energy. Everything is energy. And so if people feel like, you're just like resharing crap, then they're gonna treat your business like crap. Just to be brutally honest. And so you download these apps, if you saw a nice quote you like, whatever industry you're in, you take the quote, you put it in 500 fonts app, you create it how you want with your own fonts, with your own coloring, and you could even put your names down there, your social media names, your Instagram names, your Facebook names, so people can actively, when they start to reshare your stuff, you'll start getting clients to follow you from sharing your name and stuff like that under this nice, awesome quote type of font that you just made. I'm getting likes, man. I'm thinking this is telling me that people are liking what I'm sharing. People are getting value from it. They're seeing how it could work for them. But what's most important, guys, is taking the action on it and then getting back to me. Energy is key. Yeah, energy is everything. I literally had a 7-figure earner reach out to me to recruit me in his business, and he told me, he said, he asked me, are you married to your business, or are you actively looking? And basically he was saying, are you willing to quit what you're doing now to do something else? And I said no. But basically, long story short, man, I asked him, several questions, and I asked him, how could I be successful? He said, the one with the highest energy always wins. And he said, learn the law of averages. And that's something else I'll talk about, the law of averages. You can look up Jim Rohn. He talks about it real in depth as well on YouTube. I highly recommend you look at it, tonight, if even. Jim Rohn, law of averages. But what I'm talking about is personal branding. And something else that you have to keep in mind is with personal branding, the real end goal, is to gain trustability and likability from your audience, from your prospects, from your clients, from your potential prospects. And you're doing that by sharing your personal story through creative storytelling with personal branding. Branding yourself, right? Not resharing Grant Cardone's or Tyler. These are amazing people, but what you're doing is when you're sharing their posts, all the potential prospects that are coming onto your page are now actively going to Grant Cardone's page and stuff like that, and now you're losing you're losing prospects, because like Gary Vaynerchuk says, we're day trading attention today. Literally, attention is sales. I mean, I have a kid from Snapchat. He's mastered the skill of creating money through social media on Snapchat, and he has accounts that he'll make around $3,000 a week from, because he knows how to actively attract the attention of a specific audience, and then leverage that network to companies that will pay him, for that data. And so what I'm telling you is, stop resharing other game changers as great as they are, unless you have a deal with them. You'll see a lot of people where they'll reshare, other game changers in their industry at the same level or above or below, because they have some type of affiliate deal, and that's okay. Javier Rodriguez, thank you for hopping on here. So glad to see you on. I really appreciate you for taking the time tonight on this busy night. I assume if you just came from work, if you're with family, to take the time to hop on here and get some value that I believe will absolutely instantly give you results today, right now, in whatever industry or business, or even at your stage of life. And so I'm talking about personal branding, and I'm gonna close it up here. I just dismissed like 2 very important calls I had tonight, so I'm gonna close it here. If you guys have any questions at all, I went a little bit longer, even though I said I was gonna close it a little bit earlier. But please, I'm just passionate. I love what I do. I love helping people get what they want. My heart is really big. I wear it on my sleeve a lot of times, and I just want to see you get success. And I really mean that. I'm not just saying that just to say it. And if you know anything about me, you know it's true. And so, look, I even have a free Facebook group. I shared my Instagram down below here a little bit earlier, so you could see a lot of the personal branding I'm doing there, and you could just literally just re-engineer what I'm doing on Instagram and even here on Facebook, and just apply it to your business. But I really want to see you when I'm results driven. I'm not here by myself. I'm not here because of me. Date Trayvon Date. D Trayvon Day, thank you so much for hopping on here and for taking the time, man, to watch this and really seek, you know, some knowledge on personal branding to help you, whether you're in business or interested in getting into business. I'm closing this up here, but I do highly recommend you guys, if you're watching the replay, to look back through it. Well, if you got to this point, you already looked through it. So, but thank you so much, guys, for hopping on. I'm gonna close it here. Thanks for doing this. We have to connect more on the group. Yes. So I was just talking about my group, Alejandro Chicaro. So David is in my group. A few people here is in my group. As you can see, they're loving it. If you want, I'm also going to share then my group page in here for you guys. Give me 1 second. Alejandro, hi. Nice to see you, brother. Thank you so much for hopping on, man, for taking the time out to get on here. Let me see if I can share my group with you guys. Mendoza Zambrano Cesar Julio. Wow, that's my brother's name. Literally, his first name and middle name is Julio Cesar. So I have a Facebook group where I go in more detail. Literally, if you go in there, you're gonna be absolutely bomb-fired, amazed with all the value I've already shared in there. That literally, guys, this stuff that I'm sharing with you today, I didn't mention a little bit earlier, but I have people paying me literally thousands upon thousands of dollars for it. Right? And so I'm sharing it in my Facebook group for free. Why? For the hope that one day you will want to, in return, right, work with me seriously, and even invest even further with your time, money, and effort into working with me, so you can see that success curve a whole lot faster for you in whatever industry or business that you're in today and even in the future. Benjamin Thompson, thank you so much for hopping on here, brother. How are you doing? I really appreciate you for taking your time tonight on this beautiful night. I'm here in New York City. Let me just give you guys a quick little view. It's beautiful out here. These guys, they make sure we have the lights out. You can't really see too well, but I'm by the boat docks. There you go. If you can, you know, see it a little bit better. This is New Jersey on the other side, I believe. I'm here in New York. It's a beautiful night. Check out the lights. And I'm talking about personal branding. I'm taking the time out today, guys, to share. I think, you know, time is more important than money. And for all you guys to take the time out tonight, right, to basically allow me to borrow it or to rent it, or just to, you know, to have this experience with you, you know, it's an amazing feeling, and I really appreciate each and every single one of you that's on here and taking the time out tonight away from your families, your loved ones, to gain some value that will absolutely help you to gain that more of the time and financial freedom that you want and you seek, so you can have more time and so you can take care of your family even more. Because I'm telling you, personal branding literally has had the largest impact in my business, and I'm in several today, right? I'm in the real estate market, I'm in the MLM market, and it's through personal branding that's helped me to get to where I was years ago, lost, confused, drifting out of high school, not knowing what I was gonna do, you know, failing at life, dropped out of college, right? Because I realized my business professors, number one, had a business, and number two, were just book smart, never had business experience. And then today, making over my first 6 figures online through social media, and being able to then get not only learn from my mentors, the right people and the right information, but to then take action on it, which is very important. I mentioned earlier, I learned that from Napoleon Hill. Knowledge is not power. They brainwash us that in the formal education system. Princess Gazette, thank you so much for hopping on here. It's taking the knowledge, putting them in an organized plan for a definite aim and goal, which you start to see the power to get the results that's going to change your life Guys, I'm gonna sign out of here. I do really love the fact that you guys really see value in what I have and what I'm doing. I'm gonna share my Facebook group in here because if you feel like you just hopped on here and you might have missed anything, I highly recommend you replay it and you look at it from the very beginning. But also I share everything and so much more in my free Facebook group. So if you want, I'm gonna pause this for a second. Let me see if I can get. So I'm here, guys. I am entering my Facebook group right now for you guys. Okay, this is my Facebook group. All right. Get in my Facebook group, guys. If you want to learn more about me, about personal branding, if you want to learn more in depth, I have shared already before where you can get that information. Right here in this group, I share everything and more that people are literally paying me thousands of dollars for free in here to you, so you can get it all. You don't have to wait for me to hop on a live. Give me 1 second. I'm also going to share with you guys. So I'm also right now, guys, sorry, I just paused it. If you guys also want to work with me more seriously and you want to make your first 6 figures online, I just typed in right now a link that you can basically apply to work with me. I don't work with just anyone and everyone, honestly. Like I said, not everyone you're gonna want to work with, and not everyone's gonna work with you. But if you're interested, go to that Lewis Scale to 6 Figures in 1 month link, and if you want to apply for that, and then we'll go from there. And also, after you do that, if you do that, you know, even if it's just one person, message me in my inbox telling me that you got the link and you went through it and you're interested in learning more or what have you, or any questions or concerns that you have. I just dropped down my free Facebook group in there. I just, Miguel Camargo, thank you so much. I'm waving at you. Thank you so much for hopping on here. I really appreciate you tonight for getting on here. Away from, I assume friends and loved ones tonight, to get some value that will help you to gain more and increase in whatever part of life you're at, to where you are, to where you want to be. Using and leveraging personal branding to impact and help more people, because that's what I'm all about. And I've learned that from Zig Ziglar, who says you can have anything you want if you help enough people get what they want. So that's why I'm sharing all this stuff for free, guys. I've also shared my Instagram page. I'm very active on there. I used Facebook to start my first business, where I had my first 8-figure mentor fly out to Italy because I was able to have success through Facebook, networking on there and connecting with clients and building a large sales organization on there. And then I went to Instagram because my mentor told me, look, what you did there, you can do triple on Instagram. So I went on Instagram, and now I have over 28,000 followers on there, and I'm really on there. But I came back now on Facebook. Matthew Phillip, I came back now on Facebook. Dan, thank you so much for hopping on here. Dan Tennyson, thank you so much, brother. I'm closing this up. I've said it now at least 5 times if I've said it once. And I shared my Instagram. Go on there, guys. Follow me on there. I share a lot of amazing value on there. You can have a better idea of literally how you can use personal branding to your success just by studying and looking at my Instagram, my Facebook page, my bio, using these apps, these tools and strategies to automate your business online, to become more creative, to separate yourself from the crowd, impact and help more people in a very creative way through storytelling and your personal branding, where you're selling and not coming off as salesy, if that makes sense. I love you guys to death. I'm gonna end it here now, actually. Look, guys, I've dropped down all these links so you can connect with me further if you want. Love you guys to death. Have a great night. I'm gonna do more of these. Inbox me if we haven't already connected. I would love to talk to you and get to know you on a personal basis, on a one-on-one basis. I'll talk to you guys soon. See you at the top or from the top, or on one of the beaches of the world. Have a great night, guys. Thank you so much.